Hi guys, I just wanted to stop in today and make a quick video. And I'm saying quick because every time I say quick, it still ends up being like 20 minutes. But this one is really going to be quick. And it's a quick video because I felt the need to really get us, focused on in the midst of all this chaos, in the midst of all this sadness, to understand that, a lot of this, most of this, all of this is out of our control. It's, we're dealing with forces just beyond us right now. But it's so important to focus on what we can control. And what we can control is the energy that we are still putting out into the world, the energy that we are sharing with our family, and the energy that's going to really help us when this is all over sustain and maintain a beautiful life and also to be mentally strong. So I wanted to talk about making the most during this divine time and also some ways that we can really manifest, especially if you are a person who might not be very intentional with manifesting. I just want to give you some tips or some places to start. I'm a person who has always been a pretty spiritual person, we could say. I've been a person very in tune with my dreams and also a person who has studied and really followed lots of different spiritual gurus. Some people call them and guides, and read a lot and from a very young age and just been exposed to a lot of different things from a very young age. And I'm fortunate enough to I believe have those experiences. So for me, it comes like second nature. Manifesting, following my bliss. Shout out to Joseph Campbell. He is passed on, but he is one of our wonderful scholars. I encourage you to read some of his works. His motto is one that I follow for my life. It's the end of all my emails. Follow your bliss. The universe will open doors where there were once walls. I was introduced to him through The Secret, but he's incredible, and there are many like him. So again, that's why for me it's just second nature. But I just want to offer some tools to people who watch my channel. I know a lot of you all are kind of in a space where you're making a lot of changes right now, or maybe you're considering making a lot of changes right now in your life. Many of us are, and for many of us it's not going to be a matter of should I make a choice. It's going to be a matter of when. You're going to kind of be forced to, because times are changing and we're moving into a different phase in just life and in the world. And a lot of things that we were used to were just not sustainable. We are getting ready for a brave and a bold new world right now. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to make this video. So I want to talk about just list some ways, go over some ways to really start manifesting, especially right now. Just some ways and some tips and some suggestions. So let me get into it. So first things first, ask. If you want something, I'm sure you know what you want. But for some reason, a lot of people, not myself, but we have a problem with really asking and really being clear about what we want. And sometimes we don't even know because we're so used to not serving ourselves and serving our inner selves and serving our own wants. A lot of us are very used to, we've been trained to please others. And the last person on the list is ourselves, if we are even on the list at all. And so it is really important to get really clear on what you want, whether it's a new job, whether it's a new career, whether it's a new home, whether it's maybe just, to have a better relationship with your mom or your dad or a sibling. Whatever it is, get clear on it. And it can be multiple things, but get clear on it. I would say write it down and ask the universe. Say, I want this. I want this for me. I want this accomplishment. I want to accomplish this. I want this. I want it to happen like this. Picture it. The more you ask, and don't just ask once, the more you ask, the more you meditate on it, the more you think on it, the more you think about it, the happier you get when you're thinking about it, the more excited you get when you are thinking about it. All of that helps with manifesting. All of that energy will help with manifesting. You have to believe things as if they were already true. I've accomplished, some things in my life, and I believe that I'm going to accomplish them like they are already true. There are things that I have not accomplished yet that I know I'm going to accomplish because I've said it. And as serious as I'm saying, that's how I believe it. And you could ask my husband. He thinks I'm like, he sometimes jokes and says I'm like like, you know, a good witch. And I, you know, but definitely Glenda. Glenda the Good Witch, Wizard of Oz, shout out. But yeah, you know, really being for real with what you want and being serious about your life, you know, is really important. So the first things first, make sure you're asking, make sure you're being clear about what you want with yourself, with, you know, and with the universe. You know, you don't have to share it with the world, but you can share it in your private time, whether it's, you know, God, you know, who you are speaking to, or maybe you're speaking to the universe or whatever it is for you, making sure that you're clear with your intentions. Number two, I think this is the ideal time and the divine time to create, whether it's creating a system in your home that works for you, whether it's creating, you know, a cleaner closet, or it could be creating, maybe you're going to write a book while you're in quarantine. Maybe you're going to create a business. You know, it can be the smallest of the small and the largest of the large. But I think whatever it is that you, right now is a divine time and an important time and a good time to really create and tap into the hopefully you do have, you know, somehow, you know, you're not as busy. You know, hopefully in some way you found a way not to be as busy. I know for me, I still feel very busy, but there is still that time where I am less busy, you know, and so, because I'm not like running errands and going to the typical places I used to go to. I don't have brunch dates and this date and this happy hour and this, event and this meeting. You know, I'm not all over the place, which is how, this is how I felt. A lot of us felt like this during a traditional week, and you know, I don't have that right now, which is why I'm able to even do this, you know, take out a little time to do this and do these videos a few minutes a day. But you know, making sure that you're creating something, and again, it could be even maybe just be, and creating doesn't mean like necessarily making. It could be like creating a peaceful, you know, zen like feeling within yourself. But just tap into something. When creation just means creating something or making something happen. That's all creation really means. You can create something in your mind. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to create like better thoughts. But whatever it is, you know, whether it's tangible or not, this is a divine time to really, the time that you were spending doing those other things that now you're no longer doing, try to swap that out and in some way give back to yourself. Your inner self will thank you for it. And even if you don't recognize it yet, you will thank you for it too, one day. Next, this is a great time. I've spoken about this in other videos. This is a great time to do vision boards. I encourage, if you are home with your kids, and you guys are all home, everyone should do a vision board. Don't think it just has to be a poster board. It's so crazy because as popular as I hear vision boards are, I still have the conversations with people like, what is it? Or I never did one. Doesn't have to be a poster board. It could be, put it in a picture frame. You could take an old picture frame and put some pictures in that. It could be virtual, whatever it is. But as a family and as an individual, designing a vision board. But I think that when you do it as a family, it's the perfect time to teach your kids about manifestation, about being intentional with their thoughts. A lot of us aren't very intentional with our thoughts, and that's 90% of the problem. We think we let other people's feelings about us and we're not in control of our own mind space. And it is really mind over matter. And so I really think vision boards is a great teaching tool to teach kids how to also think beyond their current reality, even if it's just for a moment. Yeah, you know, we can't totally escape what's happening, but we also can't control everything that's happening either. But we can, again, control what's happening within our home. So I think vision boards are great whether you're single or have a family. It's good right now. Right now, we all should be trying to think beyond our current circumstances, because it's the only way we're going to really survive this in a mentally strong way. We've got to. And again, tell a doc a therapist and hashtag mental health day. I still think we really need that. I think we really need, our country needs, I know maybe it needs to be regional, but definitely here we are Detroit, Michigan, Michigan needs a healing. And yes, it's insane. So vision boards. Next, meditating, praying, you know, I do both. Making sure that you're really, again, asking for it, creating, getting your mind right, and also getting in a space where you're really focusing on that, really building out that plan, really taking charge of those thoughts and really putting the energy towards what am I going to do? And also trying to create some action steps there. I mean, we don't want to just live in our mind. We want to also turn those thoughts into action. But we all know that thoughts become things. So looking how to kind of connect those dots and meditating and praying on it and praying on it and meditating and creating, hopefully, that'll create a new reality. But meditation and prayer is very important. And don't overthink that. A lot of people I hear all the time, they'll ask me, like, how do you meditate? Like, I can't do that. I can't just sit and be quiet. Okay, fine. Guess what? I didn't start just meditating. It's not like one day I was like, okay, that's not how, for me, it didn't work like that. For one, I've been meditating probably since I was about 19 years old is when I kind of started kind of getting into the way I am, because it's a combination of lots of different influences, which is why I am the way I am. But at any rate, when I first started, I too couldn't be silent for long, and so I actually utilized technology, and I would, at that point, I think back then I was still getting CDs. I would buy guided meditations, the CDs from, like, there was Street Corner Music. And I would go there and they had guided meditation CDs, and I would use those, and that would help me. And I would just have them on before I like to meditate before I go to sleep. That's like my quiet time, because I've always been kind of had like hectic days. In the morning, I'm just trying to like survive. So nighttime has always worked for me, and doing guided meditations. And that's how I kind of started. And after a while, and after practicing, because meditation is a practice, meaning you can't just do it and stop. You got to like it's like prayer. Prayer is a practice. If you're a Christian, you don't just pray and or like a devout Christian, or a devout follower of any religion. You don't just pray and stop. Prayer is something that's habitual. It's something that you do. Well, it's the same with meditation. If you want things to really happen and for it to really work, you got to be kind of consistent. And so, I remember doing those guided meditations for like almost like different ones for like maybe like a year before I was really able to just do it on my own. And now I can just like tap out. And I don't need like a special space. But if you want guided meditations, YouTube is actually an amazing source. You can literally Google, there's astral meditations if you want to maybe get more clarity when it comes to your dreams. And then there's just regular guided meditations. You can be as specific as to say, I want a guided meditation on prosperity. I want a guided meditation on getting rid of trauma. Whatever you want, it's out there, but just do a simple YouTube search. I really recommend that. And then also finding your joy. And this kind of ties back into, I guess, creating things kind of ties into creating, but really following your bliss during this time, finding your joy. A lot of people are realizing they don't really have hobbies. Like going to the gym, I hate to break it to you guys, is really not a hobby. Watching sports is not a hobby. Getting your nails done is not a hobby. Like a lot of us are realizing like, other than like spending money and, entertainment, I don't really do a lot, and so this is really a good time to follow your bliss. There is something that you want to do. Maybe tap into that inner child. What did you used to want to do? What is, but find something that really brings you joy and happiness, and try to make it something that's not, that's something that you haven't been able to get around to, and try to make it something that's not probably based on like, just entertainment or something that kind of really is feeding the soul, I would say, but something that's really going to bring you that soulful joy. I would recommend that. This actually brings me joy. I find YouTube very therapeutic doing these videos. So whatever works for you, it doesn't have to be like extreme. I'm just saying, like, try to do something out of character right now, that, or maybe in character, but that you haven't been able to do, and ignore my horrible feeling this whole time. You all know how it is, ladies. I'm getting it together, but like I said, I had a full set right before all of this went down. And so here we are. So I'm just trying to like get rid of them, but the silk stuff is coming in the mail. So yay. Last but not least, I think this is a very important time to feed yourself good things. Feed yourself good things. And I'm not talking about food. You know, there's a lot of stuff that can bring you down right now on television. And I'm not saying don't watch the news. Clearly, I watch the news, but I don't watch it all day long. You know, I tap in and out. I'm like, you know, because I know what it can do. It can really incite your fear, incite your anxiety. And I'm a person who does have a little anxiety, but I know how to manage it. And one way I manage it, one way I am able to manage it is by not inundating myself with negative things. It's by not tuning into reality TV. Like, people joke, but I don't watch reality television because it's like, for what? Like, come on, like I mean, well, let me take that back. I don't watch the ratchet. I'm not watching like The Bachelor. I'm not watching any of that kind of stuff. You know, if I the most reality TV I watch, and this is only because we're home right now, I might slip into that 90 Day Fiance. And this is new, and that's just because it popped up on Hulu. But that, I'm not even like a regular on that, you know. I'm more of a like Dateline, like, you know, murder, whatever floats your boat. But my point is, I'm getting off track, but make sure you're being mindful of what you're feeding yourself, because right now we are being inundated with a lot of fear and a lot of scary thoughts and things, and it's important that you really are balancing that out. I'm not saying you totally ignore it, because clearly that's an issue, which is why we see people, you know, making not the wisest choices right now. But overall, I think it's extremely important to be mindful of what you're exposing yourself to, and if you have kids, especially mindful of what you're exposing them to, because your energy will rub off on them, and energy is contagious. So that's all for today. I think this is actually one of my shorter videos. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, and I think I touched on all my points, but overall, let's make the most of this divine time, where we are kind of able, most of us, unless, and again, my heart goes out to all first responders, all nurses, doctors, even the people who are working these essential jobs, everyone who is affected and who has lost loved ones. My heart goes out. But again, this is a time where we are kind of being still in some way. In some way, you're forced to be still. And I think we have to be able to manifest beyond this current circumstance we're in. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and please hit the like and subscribe button. Bye.